Hey guys, what's going on, and welcome back to the Desert Wine Guy. Today I have a red blend to talk about. A few months ago I contacted Woodin Valley Winery, which is located in Suisun Valley, California, and asked them if they had any wines they were willing to send out for review. Well, they sent me a few wines out, actually, to their credit, and I really appreciate that. One of the wines they sent out was today's review wine, which is Exit 41. Exit 41 is actually the exit you take off of Interstate 80 in Northern California in order to get to the Woodin Valley Winery. So they named the wine as such. They actually sent me this, came with the wine, tells you about the wine. And it was very interesting, actually. Going on their website, you can't find the information, some of the information that's on here. And what I found on here was the wine, of course, is a red blend. It's 80% Petit Syrah, 17.5% Cabernet Sauvignon, and 2.5% other varietals. The winemaker for the wine is Rick Lanza. Now, the Lanza family actually owns the winery. So this is a relatively small winery, and I believe it says here there were only 700 cases of this wine made. So that's pretty cool, and they've kept to that small winery type thing for as long as that I've known them. Now, I first came in contact with Woodin Valley Winery, 25 years ago. It was the first winery that I ever went to. Long before this whole Desert Wine Guy thing came to be, I was on my way to Napa Valley, and there was a big sign on Interstate 80. It said Woodin Valley Winery. So I said, hey, you know what? Let's go to Woodin Valley Winery. So off we went. So I stopped there, and at the time, they had just started making wine. They were known for growing grapes for other producers. So they had just started making wine, and they had some Cabernet Sauvignon they were selling, which was absolutely amazing. I mean, like, just amazing. I didn't know anything about wine at the time, but what I tasted, I really liked. And to this day, I still have a few bottles of their wine. And every once in a great while, on a very special occasion, I will open up a bottle of their old Cabernet Sauvignon, and it still, to this day, holds to be an amazing wine. So that should tell you something about the winery, okay? So the wine spent 16 months in American oak, and as far as the oak presentation goes on the wine, you can taste it in a little bit, but it's very well integrated into the wine in general, okay? This is not an American oak or an oak in general that is screaming, I'm here, you need to taste me, and I'm going to dominate the wine. This wine is not like that, okay? Everything in this wine is extremely well integrated, and as I move on, you will see why it has to be, okay? So, on the nose, let's talk about the nose. There is just smelling the wine, okay? The wine kind of scared me a little bit, okay? There is a blueberry jamminess to the nose of the wine. Now, in my humble opinion, there's nothing that ruins a red wine quicker than blueberry jamminess, okay? It's not a note that I like at all, okay? However, as I said, everything in this wine is super well integrated, okay? And while the blueberry jamminess does come forward just a little bit, it is well controlled by the other notes in the wine, okay? There is first of all, let me get back to that blueberry. The blueberry is very juicy and very fresh, okay? It's very lively. The whole wine itself is lively. It's a very lively wine. There's a blackberry here that takes a back seat to the blueberry. But it's there presented enough where it starts that bit of control to the blueberry, okay? It kind of like holds it back just a little bit, which is needed, okay, in my opinion. So the one thing that I immediately noticed on this wine is that acidity is very high. Now that high acidity mixing in with that blueberry is, to me, is just perfect. Okay, it's really well done. Uh, Tannins, there's a lot of tannins in the wine, but they're slightly less than powdery, and together they just like coat the palate with a dryness that is just like unbelievable. Okay, it's really nice. Okay. There is a bit of cocoa here that again lies in the background, but it kind of like says, hey, don't forget about me. And when you taste the wine, you won't be able to forget about the cocoa. Because again, it's done really well, and it's presented in such a way that it doesn't try to overshadow the wine, anything else the wine is offering up, and it's well integrated into the wine. Okay, this is the wine, I think, that a red wine that I think, if presented at a pool party, for instance, would go over pretty well. Okay, it seems to be a crowd pleaser, yet if you know about wine and you're sitting at the pool and you taste it, you're going to say, whoever provided this wine knows a little bit about wine, and they weren't afraid to spend just a little bit of money on the wine. Okay. Just delicious, guys. Fruit forward but controlled. High in acidity. Freshness is a super key here to this wine. It's the acidity and the tannins are bracing. How about that? They're bracing, but you still taste the wine. You're still able to enjoy the wine. You're still able to sit back and appreciate the wine for what it is, which is a beautiful blend. Beautiful red blend here. So, to me, this is not my style of red wine. That's not to take anything away from it. I do see that it was a very well made wine. To me, this is not a wine that I would put in my cellar. This is a wine I would definitely keep on hand, because it is a very well made wine. I am not particular to a blueberry brightness in a red wine. So for me, personally, I would tend to shy away from it. But for those of you out there who do like that and enjoy that blueberry freshness in a red, I would highly recommend that you go out and buy a couple of bottles of this wine. Now, as far as I know, the wine is only available at the winery. That's Woodin Valley Winery. I do not believe it's available anywhere else. In fact, I've never seen it anywhere else. And the last time I happened to punch the name into a search engine, the only place you can find it is at the winery. So, having said that, on the Desert Wine Guy rating scale, I'm going to take one more sip. And I'm definitely going to put this wine at 93 points. Ooh, sorry guys, I don't know if you can tell, but the wine is just really making me salivate. It's really a juicy, fresh wine. Very well made. So, that's my feelings on this wine. I do recommend you guys, if you like what I said, please go out and buy some of the wine. As I said, the wine was sent to me. That doesn't alter my score in any way, shape, or form. Okay, if I didn't like the wine, I would definitely tell you guys. Remember, I get nothing from this Desert Wine Guy whole thing going on. I just happen to enjoy doing it. I enjoy writing. I used to not be comfortable in front of the camera, but I'm slowly getting a little bit more comfortable. But I try to keep it real with you guys. So that's about it, and I appreciate you guys checking out the Desert Wine Guy. If you enjoyed the review, if you like this whole video presentation thing, please like and subscribe to my channel. And if you guys know anybody out there that enjoys wine, wants to hear about wine from the average person's point of view, please let them know about my channel. Have them like and subscribe, and I really appreciate it. And I'll speak to you guys later. Thanks for checking out the Desert Wine Guy.